Thank you. I'm joined by Viviana Sena from Albuquerque, and she is currently dealing with the loss of a family member of her daughter, who she obviously loves incredibly. Thank you for being
You're
here today
welcome.
with Viviana and sharing our story, hopefully breaking some of the silence and bringing this reality of what we need to hear. So thank you so much. Tell me a little bit about Gracie.
Gracie, my Grace. She was this spark of energy. She was funny and charismatic, gorgeous. She made friends easily, so easily. And she was loved by many. Envied by a lot. She was just like 4'11", this tiny little thing. She was just petite and short, smart. She was top of her class. You know, she was very smart. I thought she would graduate way up there, but you know, she got in high school and things changed, friends changed, you know, They want to find who they are. And she was still up there in grades though. She was always very bright, very smart.
Yes.
So when this happened to her, addiction and fentanyl and drugs, it was just like, I couldn't even believe it. But she started when using her senior year of high school. She was a cheerleader, a flyer, and she got dropped from a stunt. And she hurt herself. She hurt her back. And I took her to the doctor. They gave her ibuprofen 800, sent her to physical therapy, and she wasn't really taking her ibuprofens because she was like, they don't help me anyway. She's like, so she would go to physical therapy when she could. But because of cheer, it was hard for her to go as often as they wanted her to, so they cut her from physical therapy. And then she had a friend who was working for a pharmacy. And that friend, he's not a friend, but he gave her her very first oxy when she was a senior in high school. I didn't know. You know, she told me this after the fact. But that's when she started using, and I don't think she was using every day, maybe just like here and there whenever she was in severe pain, you know, she was getting an oxy is what she was getting. But now that I look back, I see there were signs, and I missed them because this is something that I did not expect from Grace, you know, not taking pills. Not, you know.
And nobody does, and that's part of the problem with pills is it's so like, you know, it's almost like, oh, a doctor gives you pills, and oh, these are prescriptions.
And because they think, oh, it comes from the pharmacy, it'll be fine, it'll be okay. And I think maybe that was her head. She was like, oh, it's from the pharmacy, I'll be fine, you know. So I didn't know about that. She graduated, you know, everything. We stayed in Vegas until the end of 2016, her last year. She did her one semester at Highlands, and then we moved her to Albuquerque. And when we moved her to Albuquerque, that's when things changed. She started working at this establishment, and one of the girls there was selling drugs for her boyfriend. And that girl got Grace and a few other girls, from what I understand, really, really hooked. Really hooked. But one day, you know, she came over, and because I had a family dinner, and she came over, and when I saw her, I just knew. I just knew that there was more, something else going on. You know, she had lost a significant amount of weight, and she was already tiny to begin with, you know. And just her color, she just wasn't
wasn't your daughter.
Yeah, she didn't have this glow about her like she normally did, or that sparkle in her eye, like little things, you know, I saw. So I remember asking her that day, I asked her, I said, Grace, I said, are you under a lot of stress? Are you feeling okay? And she's like, yeah, I feel fine, my mom. And I said, you've lost like a lot of weight. And she got mad at me and she told me, I am so sick and tired of people telling me that. And she's like, I'm just going to school and working a lot. I'm stressed.
Yeah.
And even her sister was like, I don't know. So being that they were so close, my daughter Michaela would ask her, you know, Grace, are you sure? You know, are you sure? What's going on? Like, is there more? And she was like, I'm fine. There's nothing. So when she finally did tell us that there was a problem and she wanted help, you know, it took us by surprise.
Yes.
I kind of did, but kind of didn't.
Because you saw something.
Because I saw, and I think her sister did too, but it was still surprising because we didn't expect it to be pills, fentanyl, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, nothing at all, actually, you know. It just.
Yeah, you thought she was under stress or
Yeah.
not getting enough sleep.
Yeah. So it was pretty shocking. And when she told us that she wanted help, we just started looking for treatment centers for her. And we found one. And she started going. She went to like the first 2-3 meetings, stopped. I don't know if that's normal behavior. I'm assuming
Everything's
so. Like
normal.
I'm thinking now that I'm learning a little bit more. That's pretty. So when she did go back, I mean, she tried. She really tried. And I remember her being excited about her 68th day being sober. She didn't last much long after those 68 days.
I'm so sorry. I know you on this journey. What do you wish you had known early on? Anything you can share?
I wish I had educated myself better because I was so naive. I thought, great, she did her 3 months or her 2 months. I don't even remember what it was. I was like, she's fine now. Not realizing that addiction is a disease. Like I knew it was, but it doesn't really impact you unless it impacts you. And the craziest thing, it had like in a way with my dad, but my dad wasn't this young person.
Yeah.
My dad was 70 years old when he passed away, you know, and he's still young. He was still young, but he was sick. He had health issues. And for Grace, at 20 years old, and even then, my dad at 70, I mean, it doesn't, but still, I guess.
You just don't feel like this is gonna
happen.
I
don't know.
Yes. Take what you need.
Sad thing is that this is happening to too many families.
Yes.
Too many young ones. And it's young, middle-aged, old. It doesn't matter.
It's all ages.
Yeah, it's all ages.
All backgrounds.
These drugs don't discriminate.
No.
They really, really don't. And it's been hard. I just wish I would have educated myself better and more informed and done more research and more studying and more reading, anything to help me realize, the severity of her illness. Because I thought, she'll be okay, She's going to go to the Army. She's going to do things. She's going to be fine. She's got her life set. She knows what she's doing. She's back on track. She's hanging out with her normal friends, her good friends. I don't know what you want to call them, but I just...
And that's part of the point of this whole summit is to educate our families, to be more informed, for government and elected officials to make better decisions about what our families need, to save lives and to create awareness around this.
Yeah, so I just think I would have educated myself better, you know, been more informed, and I don't know, maybe just understood her a little bit more, where she was coming from, because even though I tried, I hope it was enough.
And it's like, we think about it, the fast pace of life or whatever, and what it takes at those moments, or when your person asks for help, what would you share with families going through similar?
Just be there for them. Just be there, support, regardless of, what it is they're asking you for at that time. If they need you to be strong for them, be strong for them. Be that backbone for them. It's hard. It's hard helping somebody and being there for your addicted loved one. Just be there for them. Love them. Just love them. And support them, and let them know that, they're on the right track, no matter what. If they're trying to get there, they're on the right track. They're already on the right track if they're looking for that help. So just be that support.
I love that. If they're looking for it, they're already on it.
Yes. So just continue that track with them and be there for them.
It's so huge. And because we do have folks watching from all over, but I'm particularly interested, what your message would be to decision makers, elected officials, government across our state. What would your message to us that can hopefully do some things, put some money, make some policies?
I think when an addict is sent to jail for multiple, whatever it is that they've done, but they're incarcerated. I really feel that, once they're incarcerated, they detox usually in jail, and once they come out, they're thrown back into society and into the streets. And I think that there needs to be, instead of just doing that, maybe some kind of a rehabilitation for them. A treatment center, if that's what they want. Because they've come this far detoxing. They've got that poison out of them. So now you're going to release them into the streets and let them go back to repoison, and here we go, starting all over again. And the cycle just continues. So I would say probably better rehabilitation for the addicts that are incarcerated. And if they, if they're wanting it and they're wanting the help, and they see, I know that they're in jail but they're clean in there. But if they see and they want that and they want to continue, why not help them? Why not help them? Why do you want to throw them back into the streets? Just so they could go and do everything all over again. I just think better rehabilitation.
More and better.
And more or better. More, definitely more. More treatment centers, I think.
You said that you found treatment for Gracie.
And we were lucky.
That was hard.
We were lucky that we were able to get her where she was within that amount of time, because I think she waited maybe 4 or 5 days. And that's not typical. No. I know that is not typical. But at that time, my partner had just retired from DOC. He was a adult probation and parole supervisor, and I think he kind of like helped me out and showed and knew what to do.
Because so much of it is trying to figure out what to get through. And he knew the system.
He knew the system, and he knew, and I thank God that he was there to help me with that. And I also know that it's hurt him, because being Department of Corrections, he's helped so many others, and he couldn't help Grace. And I know that has hurt him.
Of course.
Because I know he loved her like his own daughter.
She was so loved.
Very much so.
Yes.
Very much so.
absolutely stunning.
Thank you. She is, huh?
She is. I'm not lying.
You would see her at the games, and she had this big smile all the time.
Yeah.
And like she looked there, that's how she was at the game. So it was sometimes hard for me to concentrate on the game or what was going on because I was too busy watching her cheer and holding my breath every time they toss her in the air.
She's
like, you better catch my girl, you better catch my girl. This mama's gonna be mad if you don't. And it just so happened that the day that she was dropped, I was not at that game. I was not at that game.
Yes.
Which is probably good because I probably would have freaked out and ran to the
I
court.
went and got mad at the people who
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I hope and I know it's hard to share your story. I'm so thankful for you doing that. I know that there's folks watching that it's like you said, it's going to make the difference for them or might help them.
That's why I share her story. To help, I guess, to inform, to share that it's, and show that it's not, it doesn't discriminate. No. Drugs don't discriminate. Fentanyl doesn't discriminate. It will never discriminate.
And a matter of fact, they're targeting people that look like your daughter.
And that is so, so sad.
Horrible.
And it's, no parent should ever have to bury their child. Because when you do, a part of you, as your person, as your identity, is buried along with your child.
Ever.
And it's hard to get that person back. I'm fighting for me, for myself, and finding who I am now without her. We used to be this square, my kids and I. Now we have part of that leg missing, and we're just a triangle now. But it was always us four against the world. I would always tell them that. It's us four against the world, guys.
Yes.
Life is so different without her.
I know that someone needs to hear what you're saying, and you're definitely an inspiration to me for sharing your story, so thank you. Is there anything you want to share that maybe I haven't asked? Or?
Oh gosh, every time I leave from places like this, I always say, I should have said this, and I should have said this. And now that you're asking me now, I don't even know.
No, don't worry. If you think of something, we still have the panel that we can talk about it. And we need to hear from our communities that have dealt with it what's needed and how we actually combat this.
I'm going to share with you something, Councilwoman. The day that we found Grace and when we called to report her, because my daughter and her best friend and I found her deceased. When APD showed up and AFD showed up, there was no compassion for us. There was no compassion when we told him that she was a recovering addict, that she had been in recovery. There was no compassion for us.
I'm sorry.
And there was no compassion I felt. They chased me out of the room, so I don't even know if they even had compassion for my daughter. And I pray to God they did, because I don't know. But when they were talking to us, there was a few that did, that were compassionate. But I think because it's so much and they see it so often, they have desensitized themselves.
Yeah.
And I get that. But for the families,
need it.
We need it.
I know.
We need to feel like our child mattered. Yeah. And our child was somebody, not just this drug addict that you found.
No.
Or that some family called you about. She was much, 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 much more than just that.
Yes, Gracie was amazing.
Her addiction did not define who she was.
Yes, exactly. And I know how you felt. I shared with you about my father, and I remember for years that the doctors and the times when he had like a kidney or a stroke failure, and they'd even almost tell us like, why do you keep saving him? And he was my father.
Because he's my father.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're your loved one, and you're gonna fight no matter what. And that's what I'm doing. I'm continuing her fight. Because she fought. And she tried.
She tried.
And she didn't fail. She was human.
Yes.
You know? But her fight has now become my fight. And her recovery is now my recovery.
Yes.
Because I am trying to recover broken pieces of my heart and try to put them back together and try to recover who I was and try to recover our lives, not only for me, but for my kids and my grandkids. A life without grace and some kind of normalcy for us.
Yeah, and that road is hard to continue.
It is hard. It's been really hard for all of us, but we're making it and we're trying. You know, we struggle just like everybody else.
But you're so aware of it, and that's one of the biggest points, right? Is that trauma often is at the root of so much of this, and so you're recognizing that you need to take care of you too.
Yeah.
Gracie would want that.
She would. I know she would. And, you know, when she first passed, I was so depressed. Like, I would say for the first 2 years were the roughest. Mm-hmm. And even up to last year was rough. But I'm slowly learning that, you know, and finding and telling myself that this is not the kind of life she would want for me.
She would.
I know she would already be telling me, Mom, stop that.
Yeah.
Stop being depressed.
Yeah.
Get up and do things. And that's what I'm doing. I'm getting up to do things.
Fighting still.
And fighting for her and fighting for others.
I love that you said that her addiction did not define her, and that's what this is all about.
And it doesn't, like a lot of our addicts, it does not define who they are, because they are good people who have fallen onto hard times, who are human.
And loved.
And loved. And through it all loved. Whether you're in it currently, or been in it, or didn't make it, you are loved. You are loved. You have people who love you and want you here and need you here. And that, I think, is what I want to stress most, is that you're needed here.
Yes. You're needed and wanted and loved.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Viviana, and for being so powerful and so courageous. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share
Yeah.
my baby story and share with you guys how amazing she is.
The
My amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace. Yes.
So thank you guys.
Thank
you for allowing me to share her story and a little bit of her life with you guys and our lives and what it's been like.
So much love and healing for you and your family. And remember your same words, that you are loved and wanted in your family. And I hope that you find peace in this. And thank you. Again.
Thank you. I will. Slowly, it's coming slowly. Baby steps.
Yes.
I always say baby steps.
Yes.
Can't just leap, and it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah. And they always say you got to
And
feel it to heal it.
Yes.
And you're feeling it.
And I'm healing. I'm slowly healing. You know, it takes time. I know that. I know I'm not complete. I'll never will be.
No.
But I am stronger today than I was yesterday.
Yes.
Every day, just a little bit more.
Good. Thank you for your courage and for being a great inspiration. And I look forward
I'm
to...
willing to help her anyway.
Me too. So let's
Anyway.
do this together.
Got it.
Okay. Thank you, Viviana.
You're welcome. Thank you.